The cold blueberry juice runs from my hair down my neck, soaking into my cream dress. She smiles her oops while he drives his fist into my ribs for making a scene in front of guests. Everyone goes silent. Someone raises their phone. I smell the metallic scent of blood and the sour sweetness of juice. I understand tonight. Either I end them, or I disappear from my own life. And I choose to end them. My name is Harper Lane, and this is the night everything changes. The garden restaurant hums with polite conversation, fairy lights strung between the oak trees casting shadows across white tablecloths. My mother's 53rd birthday party. 70 guests, mostly Randall's business associates and their wives. All here to celebrate Mara Pierce, though everyone knows they're really here for him. I'm standing near the dessert table when Brianna approaches, her heels clicking against the stone patio. She carries a tall glass of blueberry juice, the deep purple liquid catching the light. I see it coming in the tilt of her wrist, the calculated stumble. The juice hits me in a cold wave. It splashes across my chest, drips from my chin, pools in the hollow of my collarbone. The conversations around us stutter to a stop. "Oh my God," Brianna gasps, her voice pitched perfectly between surprise and delight. "I'm so clumsy, but honestly, Harper, you shouldn't have been standing so close." The smell is overwhelming, sweet and acidic. My dress, the cream silk I'd saved for 3 months to buy, clings to my skin. Purple stains spread like bruises across the fabric. "What the hell is wrong with you?" The words come out before I can stop them. That's when Randall appears. He moves fast for a man his size. His hand clamps around my upper arm, fingers digging into muscle, and he yanks me sideways. My hip slams into the dessert table. Plates rattle. "You ungrateful little—" His fist connects with my ribs, just below where the guests can see. The air leaves my lungs. "Making a scene at your mother's party." Another blow, this one to my side. I taste copper in my mouth. Someone's phone is definitely recording. Now I see the glow from the corner of my eye. "Randall, please." My mother's voice, weak and distant. He grabs my face, fingers pressing into my jaw. "You apologize to Brianna. Now." "Sir, that's enough." The restaurant manager appears, a young man in a black vest. His hands shake, but he steps between us. "I need to ask you to— Do you know who I am?" Randall's voice drops to that dangerous register I know too well. "I could buy this place tomorrow." But the manager has already signaled someone. I hear the static of a radio, hushed urgent voices. The word police ripples through the crowd. Randall releases me, smoothing his shirt. There's a spray of purple juice across his cuff he doesn't notice. "She's drunk," he announces to the gathering crowd. "My stepdaughter has a problem. We've tried to help her." I press my hand to my ribs. Each breath feels like glass. The manager brings me a chair, hands me a napkin for the blood I can taste but can't see. When the police arrive, 2 officers, one barely older than me, Randall is ready. He's Randall Pierce, owner of Pierce Civic Builders, donor to the Police Foundation. I'm the troubled stepdaughter who ruined a family celebration. "She's been drinking," he tells them, though I haven't touched alcohol in 3 years. Became aggressive with my daughter over some imagined slight. My mother stands beside him, her hand on his arm. She won't look at me. The younger officer kneels beside my chair. "Ma'am, are you hurt?" "My ribs," I manage. "We should call EMS." "That's not necessary," Randall interjects, but the officer is already making the call. The EMTs arrive in 12 minutes. I count each one, focusing on the numbers to keep from screaming. They document the swelling, the forming bruises, the tender spots that make me gasp. They recommend a hospital visit. "Just bruising," the EMT says, loud enough for others to hear, but her eyes tell a different story as she hands me the paperwork. "Keep this for your records." The security cameras mounted on the restaurant's pergola have recorded everything. The receipt for my dress is still in my purse. The purple stain on Randall's cuff will need dry cleaning, There will be a receipt for that, too. As the party dissolves into awkward departures, I remain in my chair, sticky with juice and shaking with something that isn't fear anymore. It's clarity. Randall thinks he's won. He's turned me into a spectacle, a cautionary tale, a family embarrassment. But he's also done something else. He's given me evidence. And tonight, finally, I'm going to use it. The first time Randall Pierce hit me, I was 15 years old. My mother had been married to him for exactly 3 weeks. We'd moved into his sprawling house in Cherry Creek, all marble countertops and cathedral ceilings, so different from our 2-bedroom apartment in Aurora. I'd accidentally knocked over a crystal vase while carrying boxes to my new room. The vase hadn't even broken, just tipped onto the thick carpet. But Randall grabbed my wrist so hard I heard something pop. "Careful," he'd said, smiling as my mother walked in. "These things cost more than your mother used to make in a month." That was 18 years ago. Randall built Pierce Civic Builders from a small contractor outfit to one of Denver's most successful construction companies. He had a gift for winning bids always coming in just under competitors, always finding ways to cut corners that inspectors somehow missed. The company specialized in municipal projects libraries, community centers, affordable housing that was never quite as affordable as promised. The money flowed in contracts and change orders, through shell companies and consultant fees. But what really cleaned Randall's reputation was the Pierce Community Hands Foundation, his personal charity that donated to schools, sponsored Little League teams, and hosted elaborate fundraisers where city council members smiled for photos. My mother met him at one of those fundraisers. She was working catering, recently divorced, struggling to keep us afloat. Randall pursued her with the same calculated intensity he brought to business deals. Flowers every day for a month, expensive dinners, promises to take care of us both. By then, Brianna was 13, still reeling from her own mother's death in a car accident 2 years earlier. Randall painted a picture of a blended family, 2 daughters who would be like sisters, a fresh start for everyone. The reality was different. Brianna got a BMW for her 16th birthday. I got a job at McDonald's to pay for my school supplies. Brianna's college was fully funded Duke, no expense spared. I worked 3 jobs to get through community college, then nights and weekends to finish my degree at UCD while working days as a bank teller. The violence escalated slowly, carefully. A twisted arm when I talked back, a shove down the stairs that he convinced my mother was an accident. Once, when I was 19 and threatened to call the police, he held my phone over the garbage disposal and said, "Who's going to believe you? You're nobody. Your mother needs me. Without me, she's back to scrubbing toilets." He was right. My mother had developed a taste for the life Randall provided the country club membership, the charity boards, the vacation home in Aspen. She learned to look away when I showed up with bruises. She perfected the art of changing the subject when I tried to tell her what happened when she wasn't around. "He's under so much stress," she'd say. "The business, supporting all of us. You could try harder not to upset him." I moved out at 21, rented a studio apartment in Capitol Hill that smelled like mold and had bars on the windows. But escape wasn't that simple. Randall had co-signed my student loans, held that over my head. My mother would call, crying, saying she needed me at family dinners, holidays, public events where the Pierce family needed to look perfect. So I learned to navigate it. Minimal contact, strategic avoidance. I built my own life, piece by piece. Earned my certifications in financial compliance. Worked my way up from entry-level analyst to senior investigator at Everline Financial Group. I specialized in finding the threads that unraveled fraud schemes following money through its elaborate disguises. The irony wasn't lost on me. Every day, I investigated criminals who thought they were untouchable. Then I'd go to Sunday dinner and pass the potatoes to one. I started keeping records 5 years ago. Photos of bruises, backed up to 3 different cloud services. Dates and times in a coded journal. Audio recordings on an app that automatically uploaded to a secure server. Not because I planned to use them, but because I needed to know I could. Randall grew bolder as his success grew. City contracts worth millions. property developments that somehow always got zoning approval. His charity grew too, its tentacles reaching into every corner of Denver's political landscape. He was untouchable, or so he believed. Last month, my mother called. Her credit cards were maxed out again. Could I help? Just this once I'd paid them off before, depleting my savings, only to watch her rack up more debt on shopping sprees she couldn't explain. That's when I started looking closer at Randall's finances. The patterns I'd ignored for the sake of family peace. The questions I'd trained myself not to ask. What I found changed everything. But tonight, bleeding purple juice and bruises in that garden restaurant, I finally understood I'd been building my case for years without realizing it. Every document saved, every injury recorded, every financial trail I'd pretended not to see. Randall thought he was teaching me a lesson tonight. Instead, he'd just given me the final piece I needed. The emergency room at Denver Health smells like bleach and fear. It's 11:47 p.m. when they finally call my name. The doctor, a tired woman with kind eyes, documents everything: contusions on my ribs, bruising patterns consistent with grip marks, soft tissue damage. "Do you want to file a police report?" she asks quietly. I need copies of everything first. I tell her. Every image, every note. She nods, understanding. "I'll make sure you get them. By 2:15 a.m. I'm home with a USB drive of medical imaging, printed records, and prescriptions I won't fill. I don't need painkillers. I need clarity. I open my laptop and begin. First, the preservation letter. I draft it carefully, addressing it to the Moonlight Garden Restaurant's management and security company. This serves as formal notice to preserve all surveillance footage from May 15th, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m., as evidence in pending legal action. I send it via certified email with read receipts and backup with registered mail that will go out in the morning. Second, the protective order. Colorado allows emergency protection orders to be filed online. I attach the medical records, the EMT report, photos of my injuries timestamped and geotagged, previous incidents. Yes, I upload files I've kept for 5 years. Fear of future violence after tonight. Absolutely. Third, the witnesses. I create a spreadsheet. 70 guests, but I need the right ones. James Morrison, city contractor who lost a bid to Randall last year. He was recording. Sandra Liu, accountant at Pierce Civic Builders who was laid off 6 months ago. She was standing 3 feet away. Marcus Torres, reporter for the Denver Post who was there with his wife. He took photos. My phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. "I was at the party tonight. I have video. Randall Pierce hurt my sister the same way 3 years ago. Please don't let him get away with it again." I save the number, add it to my list. By 4 a.m. I've shifted focus. My compliance work at Everline taught me that financial crimes leave breadcrumbs. I log into professional databases I'm authorized to access, careful to document my legitimate reasons for each search. Pierce Civic Builders' public filings show interesting patterns. Project costs that spike 30% after approval. Subcontractors that exist only on paper, registered to addresses that turn out to be vacant lots. Change orders signed by city officials who later receive donations from Pierce Community Hands. But it's the charity that's the masterpiece. Pierce Community Hands raised $2 million last year. Their public Form 990 shows $1.6 million went to community outreach and administrative costs. I cross-reference the vendors. Marketing services from Apex Communications registered to Brianna Pierce. Facility rentals from heritage properties owned by a shell company that traces back to Randall. Consulting fees to Strategic Partners LLC, which shares an address with Pierce Civic Builders. The money goes out and comes back, washed clean. I download everything. Bank statements from public records, contract bids from city websites, charity filings from the IRS database. All legal to access, all public information that anyone could find if they knew where to look. My ribs scream when I reach for my phone, but I dial anyway. "Elena, it's Harper. I know it's early." "Yes, I'm okay." "Listen, You worked in accounting at Pierce Civic. You told me once if I ever needed the truth about what happened there. I need it now. Elena Ortiz whispers like she's afraid Randall might hear her from across the city. I kept copies of everything before he fired me for errors in the books. Can we meet? 7 a.m., the coffee shop on Colfax in York. Harper. Be careful. He destroyed the last person who tried to expose him. Not this time. I hang up and draft another email. This one goes to Avery Locke, the employment attorney who spoke at our compliance conference last month. Subject line, urgent whistleblower case with criminal implications. By 6 a.m., I've assembled a preliminary file that would make any prosecutor salivate. Patterns of fraud, embezzlement, money laundering, physical assault with documentation, witness intimidation. I have 3 former employees willing to testify about threats. My mother calls as I'm getting dressed. I let it go to voicemail. Harper, honey, Randall is very upset about last night. You need to apologize. Think about the family's reputation. Please don't make this worse than it has to be. I delete the message and check my protective order status. Approved for emergency hearing at 9 a.m. I look at myself in the mirror. Purple bruises bloom across my ribs like violent flowers. My jaw is swollen where his fingers pressed, but my eyes are clear, focused. For 18 years, I've been playing defense, dodging, minimizing damage, surviving. Now I'm going on offense. I pick up my phone and scroll to the contact I've been avoiding for 2 years. Detective Ray Hutchinson, Financial Crimes Division. We'd worked together on a bank fraud case. He'd given me his card, said to call if I ever found something big. Detective Hutchinson. This is Harper Lane from Everline. I have evidence of systematic fraud and money laundering through a major city contractor. Yes, it's documented. How soon can we meet? The sun rises over Denver as I pack my evidence into a secure briefcase. Randall Pierce thinks he owns this city. He's about to learn what I learned in compliance. It's not the crime that brings them down. It's the cover-up. And Randall has been covering up for years. The coffee shop on Colfax is nearly empty at 7 a.m. Elena Ortiz sits in the back corner, clutching a manila envelope like it might explode. Her hands shake as she slides it across the table. Everything's in there, she whispers. Invoices for work never performed. Payroll for employees who don't exist. 2 sets of books, one for the IRS, one real. I open the envelope carefully. Photocopies of checks made out to ghost companies. Excel spreadsheets with 2 columns for the same projects, reported and actual. A handwritten note in Randall's distinctive scrawl. Add $15K to Martinez invoice. Kickback through Heritage. He had me create phantom employees. Elena continues. Juan Rodriguez, Mike Stevens, Sarah Johnson, none of them exist, but they each pulled $60,000 a year in salary. The money went to accounts Randall controlled. Why didn't you report this before? Elena's laugh is bitter. He told me he'd have me deported. I'm a citizen, born in Fort Collins, but he said that wouldn't matter. Said he could make problems appear in my background. And then, she rolls up her sleeve, reveals a scar on her forearm. His message was clear. I photograph every document with 3 different devices. Upload to separate cloud services. Elena, I need you to write down everything. Dates, specific conversations, anyone else who knew. There's more. She pulls out a flash drive. Audio recordings. He didn't know I was recording when he explained the Pierce Community Hands scheme. I plug the drive into my laptop. Use my VPN to stay anonymous. Randall's voice fills my earbuds. The beauty is, we donate to our own charity, take the tax write-off, then hire our own companies as vendors. Money comes full circle, minus what we need to sprinkle around to keep people happy. Mayor's campaign, 20 grand through the charity. Building inspector giving us trouble. His kid's school suddenly gets new computers. My phone buzzes. Detective Hutchinson. Can you meet at 10 a.m., bringing IRS Criminal Division? By 8:30. I'm at my second meeting. 3 former Pierce Civic employees sit across from me in a Denny's off Interstate 25. Marcus Webb, former project manager; Dave Torben, construction foreman; Amy Zhao, former HR director. He stiffed my whole crew on the Riverside Community Center job, Dave says. Claimed the work was substandard, refused to pay. When I threatened to sue, he had ICE show up at my job sites. Half my workers were legal, but they were too scared to come back. Amy slides me a folder. Workplace complaints I was ordered to bury: sexual harassment, wage theft, safety violations. He made me shred the originals, but I kept copies at home. Marcus adds, the city contracts are rigged. Randall has a guy inside Public Works, Tommy Brennan. They golf together every Sunday. Brennan feeds him the other bids. Randall comes in just under. I document everything, building layers of evidence like sedimentary rock. Each story reinforces the pattern. Would you testify? I ask. They look at each other. Dave nods first. If you can protect us from retaliation. I'm working on that. At 9:45, I meet Avery Locke at her law office. She's already reviewed my initial email, has a team assembled. This is RICO territory, she says, referring to racketeering laws. Pattern of criminal enterprise. The charity fraud alone could put him away for 20 years. Add in the assault, witness intimidation, wage theft. Harper. This is huge. How do we protect the witnesses? Whistleblower statutes, protective orders, and we go public fast. Once media attention hits, retaliation becomes too risky. I know journalists at the Post and 9 News who would kill for this story. Detective Hutchinson arrives with 2 IRS agents. They review the evidence with the intensity of sharks sensing blood. One agent, a stern woman named Patricia Chen, no relation to anyone I know, actually whistles. The charity is textbook money laundering, she says. We've been watching Pierce Community Hands for 2 years, but couldn't find the smoking gun. This, she taps the recordings. This is a smoking arsenal. What's the timeline? I ask. We need 2 weeks to verify everything, get warrants lined up. Can you get more evidence, specifically, current transactions? I think about the Pierce Community Hands Gala next week, their biggest fundraiser of the year. Randall will be working overtime to move money, secure contributions, pay off allies. I can get it, I say, but I'll need to get close to him again. Avery shakes her head. You have a protective order hearing tomorrow. He can't come near you. Unless I drop it. They all stare at me. Harper, no. Detective Hutchinson says, this man is dangerous. He's also predictable. He thinks I'm beaten, scared. If I apologize, play the repentant stepdaughter, he'll let me close enough to get what we need. I touch my bruised ribs. He's done worse to me than this. But this time, I'll be wearing a wire. Patricia hands me a business card. Federal resources. Best surveillance equipment available. If you're really going to do this, I am. Then we do it right. Full backup team, panic button, the works. As I leave the meeting, my phone rings. Randall. I let it go to voicemail. Listen to his message. Harper, your mother is very upset. This restraining order nonsense needs to stop. Drop it. Come to dinner tomorrow night, and we can discuss your future in this family. Otherwise, well, you know I have influence at Everline. Would be a shame if they discovered some discrepancies in your work. I forward the voicemail to Detective Hutchinson. Another threat documented. Another nail in his coffin. Tomorrow. I'll drop the protective order. Not because I'm scared, but because I need him to think he's won. The gala is in 6 days. Randall will stand in front of Denver's elite, accepting praise for his charitable work. And I'll be there to document every crime he commits along the way. The surveillance van parks 3 blocks from Pierce Civic Builders. Inside, Patricia from the IRS and Detective Hutchinson monitor equipment while I adjust the pen camera clipped to my blazer. Audio's clear, Patricia confirms. The pen records everything in a 90-degree angle. Just keep it pointed toward Randall. I've created the perfect bait integrated solutions consulting, a shell company registered in Delaware 2 days ago, complete with a professional website and fabricated client testimonials. Our service, community engagement optimization for construction firms, corporate speak for bribing officials. Remember, Hutchinson says. We need him to explicitly discuss the kickback structure, get numbers, names, percentages. At 2 p.m., I walk into Randall's office. He's behind his massive oak desk. Brianna perched on the leather couch, scrolling through her phone. Harper. His smile is cold. I heard you dropped the protective order. Smart choice. I need money, I say flatly. My job at Everline is uncertain. I know how your business works. I can help. Brianna laughs. You help. You can't even. I brought a proposal. I hand Randall a folder. Integrated Solutions Consulting. We help contractors secure community support for projects. Smooth over local opposition. Ensure positive media coverage. Randall flips through the bogus contracts. And what makes you think I need this service? The Riverside Expansion Project. Community groups are organizing against it. My company can make that go away. For a fee. How much? $50,000 up front. Another $50,000 when the project's approved. He leans back. That's steep for public relations. It's not just PR. It's ensuring the right people on the zoning committee vote yes. The neighborhood association president suddenly supporting the project. The local newspaper running positive stories. Now I have his attention. And how would you accomplish that? The same way you always have. But with a layer of separation. My company pays the bribes. You pay us as consultants. Clean paper trail. Randall opens his desk drawer, pulls out a different folder. Funny thing about paper trails? Harper, your company, it's 2 days old. No real clients. You think I'm stupid? My heart pounds, but I stay calm. It's new because I just left Everline. Check Monday's termination records if you want. He makes a call. I pray my contact at Everline has planted the false termination paperwork in time. Richardson pull up Harper Lane's employment status. Terminated Monday, I see. He hangs up, studies me. You always were smart. Too smart for your own good. Smart enough to know your community hands charity needs better laundering. The IRS is cracking down. I can help with that too. Brianna finally looks up. Dad, she's obviously quiet. Randall stands, walks around the desk. You know what I think you're desperate. Lost your job, running out of money, crawling back to the family you betrayed. He grabs my wrist, squeezes. The camera catches it all. But maybe that's useful. He continues. The gala's Saturday. Big donors, city officials. You could work the room, gather intelligence, prove your value. I need money now. I press. He releases my wrist, goes to his safe. $5,000 cash. Call it a trial run. You get me dirt on Tommy Brennan, he's been avoiding my calls. Find out if he's flipped to the feds. Tommy Brennan, the inside man at Public Works. I take the cash, making sure the serial numbers are visible to the camera. How do I contact you? I ask. Through this. He hands me a burner phone. No calls to my regular number, no emails. And Harper. He steps close enough that I smell his cologne. If this is some kind of setup, remember I know where you live. I know where your mother shops. I know everything about you. It's not a setup. I just need to survive. Brianna stands, walks over. She's holding a glass of cranberry juice. You know what, I don't buy it. You're too much of a righteous bitch to. She trips, or pretends to. The juice splashes across my shirt, the same move as the restaurant, but this time I don't react. Oops, she says. Guess you really have learned your place. The pen camera catches her smirk. Randall's approving nod. Clean yourself up. Randall says, you smell like fruit punch. And Harper. This conversation never happened. The cash is a loan to family. Understood. Understood. I leave the building, walk 3 blocks to the van. Inside. Patricia is grinning. Got it all. The bribe to investigate Brennan, the admission about the charity, the threat, plus the assault on camera. It's not enough, I say. We need the whole network. The gala will have everyone donors, city officials, the contractors he pays off. That's when we get everything. Hutchinson nods. The burner phone, we can track that. Intercept communications. What about Brennan? Patricia asks. If Randall's suspicious of him. Brennan already flipped. Hutchinson reveals. Has been working with us for 3 months. We'll feed him information to pass to you. Harper, make you look valuable to Randall. I peel off the juice-stained shirt, change into a backup. Brianna won't stop testing me. She knows something's off. Let her, Patricia says. Every time she attacks you on camera, it's another assault charge, another piece of leverage. My personal phone buzzes. A text from my mother. Randall says you visited. Thank you for being reasonable. See you at the gala Saturday. I type back, I'll be there. 5 days until the gala. 5 days to document every crime, every payoff, every threat. 5 days to build a case so airtight that even Randall's connections can't save him. The pen camera goes into an evidence bag, the cash photographed and serialized. Each bill will be traced, tracked, used to prove the movement of dirty money. Harper, Hutchinson says, you sure you want to go to that gala? Once we move on him, I'll be there when it happens. I say, I want to see his face when he realizes he's finished, when everyone sees who he really is. The bruises on my ribs have turned yellow-green, healing but still tender. Every twinge reminds me why I'm doing this. Randall Pierce thinks he owns me, owns this city, owns everyone around him. In 5 days, he'll learn he owns nothing but a prison sentence. The ballroom at the Grand Hyatt sparkles with false promise. Crystal chandeliers cast prismatic light across 500 guests. Denver's elite gathered to celebrate Pierce Community Hands and its commitment to building better futures. The irony tastes bitter as champagne. I wear a midnight blue gown that conceals the wire taped to my ribs. The clutch purse holds a phone streaming everything to the FBI van outside. Patricia's voice whispers through my earpiece. All channels clear. Team in position. Randall works the room like a maestro, shaking hands with the mayor, laughing with city council members. The charity auction displays include signed Broncos jerseys and ski packages to Vail, all donated by companies that mysteriously win city contracts. Harper, darling. My mother floats over in silver sequins, wine glass already half empty. You look beautiful. Randall is so pleased you're here. Where is he? Getting ready for his speech. He's receiving the Humanitarian of the Year award. Her eyes glisten with pride or wine. Maybe both. Isn't it wonderful? At 8:15, I spot Tommy Brennan near the bar. He sees me, nods slightly our predetermined signal. I approach, knowing Randall is watching from across the room. Tommy, I say loudly enough for nearby guests to hear. Randall wants to discuss the Riverside project. Private meeting, upstairs suite. Brennan plays his part perfectly. I can't be seen alone with him, not with the investigation. What investigation? He leans close, whispers just loud enough for my wire. IRS is sniffing around the department. Looking at contract awards, I need 20 grand to disappear some documents. Done. Cash. Always. Randall appears at my elbow. Harper, a word. He guides me to a corner, grip tight on my arm. What did Brennan say? 20,000 to bury documents. The IRS is looking at public works contracts. Shit. He pulls out the burner phone. Texts someone. Go to my office safe. Combination is your mother's birthday. Get 20 grand. Bring it back. Give it to Brennan in the bathroom, 3rd stall. The bathroom. No cameras there, and Harper good work. Patricia's voice crackles. Perfect. Conspiracy to bribe a federal official. 9 o'clock approaches speech time. The lights dim. Spotlights converge on the stage. The president of the charity board, James Whitfield, who's received $40,000 in consulting fees, takes the microphone. Tonight, we honor a man whose vision has transformed our city. Through Pierce Community Hands, he's donated millions to our schools, our community centers, our families in need. I position myself near the media section. 3 reporters from the Denver Post, 2 from 9 News, all here for the society pages. They have no idea what's coming. Ladies and gentlemen, our Humanitarian of the Year. Randall Pierce, applause thunders. Randall climbs the stage, trophy in hand, smile broad. Behind him, A screen displays photos of community projects all built by Pierce Civic, all over budget, all funneling money back to him. "Thank you," Randall begins. "This city gave me everything. It's my honor to give back." That's when the screen flickers. The photos vanish, replaced by security footage from the restaurant. There's Randall, clear as day, driving his fist into my ribs. The audio is crystal clear. "Making a scene at your mother's party." Gasps ripple through the crowd. Randall spins toward the screen, face draining of color. The footage continues. Now it's his office, the pen camera view. "If this is some kind of setup, remember I know where you live." Then audio from Elena's recordings. "We donate to our own charity, take the tax write-off, then hire our own companies as vendors." "Turn it off," Randall shouts. But the tech booth is locked, the FBI controlling the feed. The screen shows document after document, fake invoices, ghost employee records, bank transfers to shell companies, each one labeled with dates, amounts, traced to specific crimes. The crowd erupts. Reporters surge forward, cameras rolling. The mayor backs away from the stage. Donors head for exits. "This is fake," Randall screams into the microphone. "Deep fakes, AI, someone setting me up." That's when Brianna breaks. She runs onto the stage, mascara streaming. "Dad, stop. Just stop." She grabs the microphone. "I knew about all of it. The money, the bribes, everything. I helped him. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." The confession streams live on every phone recording. FBI agents enter through the main doors, badges visible. Patricia leads them, warrant in hand. Detective Hutchinson follows with Denver PD. "Randall Pierce," Patricia announces, voice carrying across the ballroom. "You're under arrest for money laundering, tax evasion, conspiracy to commit wire fraud, and racketeering." They cuff him on stage, in front of everyone. The humanitarian trophy falls, shatters on the floor. "Harper." He sees me in the crowd, rage twisting his features. "You did this. You destroyed everything." I walk forward, past the shocked guests, past my mother who's collapsed in a chair. I stop at the stage edge, look up at him. "No, Randall, you did this. Every forged document, every bribe, every threat, every time you put your hands on me." I hold up my phone, show him the recording app. "It's all here. Every word you said tonight about bribing Brennan. Every crime you confessed to. You fucking... Mr. Pierce." Patricia interrupts. "I'd advise you to stop talking." As they march him out, Brianna cuffed beside him. The media swarms. A reporter shoves a microphone at me. "Ms. Lane, how long have you been investigating?" "No comment. Talk to the FBI." I find my mother in the chaos. She looks at me with eyes that finally see clearly. "Harper, I'm sorry. I knew. Part of me always knew. I know. Mom, what happens now? Now you divorce him. The FBI will freeze his assets, but the house was in your name before marriage. You'll be okay." She touches my face gently. "You saved us. I saved myself." I walk out of the ballroom into the cool Denver night. My phone buzzes with messages from witnesses, offering to testify. Elena texts, "You did it." Tomorrow. The headlines will scream about the philanthropist exposed as a fraud. The city will scramble to review every contract Pierce Civic ever won. The charity will dissolve, its victims compensated from seized assets. But tonight, I just breathe. For the first time in 18 years, I breathe free. The federal courthouse at 9 Monday feels like a fortress. Avery Locke guides me through the metal detectors, past the reporters camped outside. The protective order hearing that started everything has evolved into something massive. 17 former employees filed complaints over the weekend, Avery says. Class action for wage theft. The Department of Labor opened 3 separate investigations. Judge Martinez reviews the emergency asset freeze. Randall's accounts locked. Pierce Civic Builders operations suspended. The charity's funds seized pending investigation. Ms. Lane, the judge addresses me. Your evidence has been crucial. The protection order is granted, permanent. Mr. Pierce cannot come within 500 feet of you. But Randall's lawyer, Stephen Cross, $1,000 an hour, now working on frozen retainer objects. Your Honor, Mr. Pierce needs access to his business records to mount a defense. Then he should have thought of that before threatening witnesses. Judge Martinez responds. Motion denied. By noon, the IRS Criminal Investigation Division has set up a war room. Patricia shows me their board 43 shell companies traced, 200 suspicious transactions flagged, $6.7 million in tax evasion documented. Your audio recordings are gold, she says. Randall explaining his own scheme. Prosecutors dream of evidence like this. Detective Hutchinson arrives with more news. 3 city council members just resigned. Brennan gave us everything, every bribe, every rigged bid for the last 5 years. My phone rings. It's my mother. Harper. The divorce lawyer says Randall transferred assets before the freeze. The house has 3 mortgages I didn't know about. There's nothing left. Come to my apartment, I tell her. We'll figure it out. But there's another call coming in. The FBI. Ms. Lane Randall's trying to make bail. His lawyer's arguing the video was obtained illegally, that you entrapped him. I meet them at the federal building at 2:30. The prosecutor, Janet Williams, is blunt. Cross is good. He's filing motions to suppress evidence, claiming you were acting as a government agent without proper authority. But I wasn't. I came to you with evidence I'd already collected. The pen camera, the wire those came after. He's arguing entrapment. Avery slams her hand on the table. That's bullshit. Harper was protecting herself, documenting crimes in progress. I agree, but we need to be thorough. They spend 3 hours reviewing every interaction, every recording, establishing the timeline that proves I acted independently before law enforcement got involved. Meanwhile, Randall's empire crumbles in real time. I watch from my phone as news breaks. Pierce Civic Builders under federal investigation. Dozens of city contracts suspended. Building inspections reveal major safety violations. At 6 p.m., workers from Pierce Civic gather outside the locked headquarters. Dave Torben is there with his crew. 3 months of unpaid overtime. He tells a reporter, Randall Pierce got rich off our backs. The Labor Relations Board fast-tracks their claim. By evening, they've frozen an additional $2 million in assets for worker compensation. Tuesday morning brings Brianna's plea deal. She's turned state's witness, providing passwords to encrypted files, details of the money laundering operation. In exchange, 3 years probation, no jail time. My phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. You think you won? I still have friends. This isn't over. I forward it to the FBI. Within an hour, they trace it to a phone Randall bought through his lawyer. Another charge witness intimidation from custody. Wednesday. The dam fully breaks. The Denver Post runs a 3-page expose. Former employees, contractors, even charity donors come forward with stories. A construction worker shows photos of substandard materials Randall used in a school building. A charity recipient reveals they never received the promised funds. The city announces emergency inspections of every Pierce Civic project from the last decade. The first 3 buildings inspected fail safety codes. Thursday at the bail hearing. Randall looks diminished. His orange jumpsuit hangs loose, his hands cuffed, the confident swagger gone. Cross argues for $5 million bail, house arrest, ankle monitor. The prosecutor responds with my evidence, the threatening text, the pattern of violence, the flight risk given his offshore accounts $12 million hidden in the Caymans, discovered just yesterday. Bail denied. The judge rules. The defendant poses a clear danger to witnesses and the community. Randall explodes. This is a setup. That bitch destroyed me. She planned this. His lawyer tries to quiet him, but Randall keeps screaming. I'll ruin her, her mother, everyone who, get him out, the judge orders. And Mr. Pierce, you just added criminal threats to your charges. As marshals drag him away, our eyes meet. For 18 years, I feared that look. Now I see it for what it is, the rage of a man who's lost all power. Outside the courthouse, My mother waits. She's staying with me now, sleeping on my couch, rebuilding her life at 53. The house is gone, she says quietly, but the divorce lawyer found something. A life insurance policy Randall didn't know I knew about. Cashed it out before he could claim it. It's not much, but it's mine. Elena texts me that afternoon. Got a job. Real accounting firm. They said my whistleblowing showed integrity. Thank you. Dave Torben calls Labor Board, says we'll get our money. Every penny plus penalties. By Friday, 47 civil suits have been filed against Randall and Pierce Civic Builders. The company board votes to dissolve. $300 million in city contracts canceled. The U.S. Attorney announces 32 federal charges. Avery calls with final numbers. With RICO enhancements, he's looking at 40 to 60 years. He'll die in prison. Harper. That evening, I stand in my small apartment, looking at the pile of legal documents covering my dining table. Protective orders, witness statements. FBI reports the paper trail of justice. My phone rings. It's the Denver Post. Ms. Lane, would you comment on Randall Pierce's claim that this was an elaborate frame job? No comment, I say. The evidence speaks for itself. And it does. Every document, every recording, every bruise photographed and cataloged. Tomorrow, there will be more hearings, more revelations, more consequences. The investigations will spread, reaching every corrupt connection in Randall's network. But tonight, my mother makes tea in my tiny kitchen, free for the first time in years, and I realize I didn't just end them. I reclaimed us. The warehouse sits on the industrial edge of Denver, rusted and forgotten. 3 weeks since the gala. Randall has made bail, after all, a technicality, a judge who owed favors. He's supposed to be on house arrest, but desperation makes men reckless. Patricia's voice crackles through my earpiece. Heat signatures show 14 people inside. Randall, Brianna, and what looks like his remaining crew destroying documents. It's 11:43 p.m. The FBI raid team surrounds the building. I'm here as a witness, to identify evidence. But really, I need to see this end. They're burning files in oil drums. Hutchinson observes through thermal imaging. Move now, or we lose everything. The ram hits the door at 11:45. FBI federal warrant. I follow behind the agents, wearing a bulletproof vest. The warehouse reeks of burning paper and desperation. Randall stands near a flaming barrel, shoving documents into the fire. His eyes are wild, suit wrinkled, 3 days of stubble on his face. Step away from the barrel hands where we can see them. But Brianna panics. She grabs a bottle industrial solvent and runs toward me. This is all your fault. The bottle rises. Time slows. I don't move, don't flinch. A federal agent intercepts her, the bottle clattering harmlessly to the concrete. She collapses, sobbing. Randall laughs, high and manic. You think you've won, Harper. You destroyed everything, the company, the charity, your mother's security. No, I say quietly. You did that. Every choice, every crime, every time you raised your hand to me, that was you. He lunges toward me, but 3 agents tackle him. As they pin him down, something falls from his pocket. A flash drive. Patricia retrieves it, plugs it into her field laptop. Her eyes widen. It's everything. Backup records of every bribe, every shell company, every offshore account. He was going to run. Flight logs, another agent announces. Private jet scheduled to leave for Costa Rica at 2 a.m. No extradition treaty. The handcuffs click with finality this time. No friendly judges, no technicalities. Attempted destruction of evidence. Conspiracy to flee prosecution. Violation of bail conditions. He's not getting out again. As they lead Randall away, he turns one last time. Your mother will have nothing. You'll have nothing. We have ourselves, I reply. That's everything you tried to take. Brianna is cuffed too, her plea deal void after attacking me. She looks small, broken, a lifetime of privilege evaporating in seconds. The warehouse yields treasures, hidden ledgers, backup drives, even cash $3 million in hundreds, wrapped and ready for exile, all seized, all evidence. Dawn breaks as we exit the warehouse. News vans already gather, reporters shouting questions. I walk past them to where my mother waits by my car. "It's over," I tell her. She nods, tears flowing. "I should have protected you. All those years. We survived. That's what matters." 3 months later, I sit in a federal courtroom for sentencing. Randall Pierce, found guilty on all counts: racketeering, money laundering, tax evasion, assault, witness intimidation. The judge reads the sentence: 57 years. No possibility of parole. Randall doesn't look at me. He's aged 20 years in 3 months, gray and hollow. Guards escort him out in shackles, heading for maximum security federal prison. Brianna gets 8 years. The other conspirators. Various sentences. Pierce Civic Builders' assets are liquidated. Workers paid, with millions going to defrauded clients. Outside the courthouse, Elena waits with Dave Torben and others Randall hurt. "Thank you," Dave says simply. "You gave us justice." My mother has found her footing. She works part-time at a craft store, lives in a small apartment, attends therapy twice a week. She's free. I returned to Everline Financial Group, promoted to Senior Director of Compliance. I train investigators now, teach them to spot patterns others miss. My specialty cases everyone says are untouchable. 6 months after the trial, I receive a letter, federal prison postmark. I don't open it, just hand it to the FBI. Later, Patricia tells me it was Randall, still blaming me, still threatening. Another 5 years added to his sentence. Today marks 1 year since that night at the Garden restaurant. I stand in my new office, looking out at the Denver skyline, my ribs healed without scarring. The nightmares stopped months ago. My phone buzzes. A text from my mother. "Dinner at 6, I'm cooking." I smile. I'll be there. The city below bustles with life, with people facing their own battles. Some will win, some will lose, some will just survive. But they'll keep fighting, like I did, because sometimes the only way to end a cycle of abuse is to stand up, document everything, and refuse to be silent. Sometimes justice comes not from waiting for rescue, but from becoming your own salvation. Randall Pierce thought he owned this city, owned me, owned everyone in his orbit. Now he owns nothing but time, 57 years of it, in a cell, with nothing but his memories of the power he once wielded and lost. And me, I own my life, my future, my freedom. I pick up my phone, see the last photo taken at the warehouse, Randall in handcuffs. Defeat etched in every line of his face. I delete it. I don't need it anymore. The past is evidence, filed and sealed. The future is mine to write. Thank you for listening to this story. I'd love to know where you're listening from. Leave a comment below and let's connect. If this story resonated with you, please subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts. Your experiences and perspectives make our community stronger. Until next time, stay strong and keep fighting for your truth.